And along the journey, as they are navigating life post SM, you still may need to work on different aspects in treatment, whether it's, anxiety for other reasons. Because if you have a like genetic, biological, kind of tendency towards it, right? Every relative has had it. Is it the genetic aspect and or learned from every generation having the same way and passing it on? Yeah, there's a learned piece as well. But yeah, you may still need therapy for different things,
Mhm.
right? You still need to work on other ways to calm yourself, and learn how to, regulate yourself, mindfulness, things like that, and continued skill building in areas like I said, we get kids or individuals that come to the Smart Center and they are verbal, but they may lack confident initiation, elaboration, expression, conversation expanders, conversation starters, like, finding friends, keeping friends, going for that job interview, doing all these things, working on skill building may still need to be there. So I don't want to mislead people that it's all or none, which is how we started, but there are some things you may still be working on, and that's life.
Yep,
Take
all
the
of our
word as
kids need
that's
skill
life.
building. Yes, absolutely. It just might take our kiddos with SM a little bit longer because they didn't have that practice and they didn't have that history. And so we have to help them maybe for a little bit longer than our non SM kiddos. But my child's preschool teacher said it best. She said, everybody's working on something. And when I heard that, it's
Everyone.
like, yes, everybody is. And that's okay. We all have our challenges and we're all going to fight and we're all going to find who we are as when we have that support around us. So again, even though my daughter overcome her SM, I'm still here to support her and still helping her find her path and helping her recognize when things are a little off and finding those coping strategies that work for her because we've had all of these years of working through everything. And it's just it's a different struggle. It's an enjoyable struggle, if you will, because now we can see them as a person, see all that they can accomplish.
And before we end, I shared with you earlier that I've talked to parents that's kids have overcome this many, many years ago that that started out with me 25 plus years ago, so to speak. And what many of them have said to me is that because we worked on communication and because we're in an age of technology where you aren't having to verbalize as much and make phone calls and go to stores and you can order Instacart and Amazon, there's so many kids without SM that lack social communication skills because they're not interacting on an everyday basis. And a big part of treatment is getting out and exposures and being able to approach people and working on these skills at the stage that you need to work on as you're progressing into confident verbal communication. And so many of these families have said, my daughter is like the best communicator. Like she will share, she's open, like it's unbelievable. But then you have somebody that, let's say, didn't really know this was SM, right? And they're 11, they're 12, they're 13, they're 18. They were hoping the child would just outgrow it. Well, in those many years of not having the opportunity to be socially engaging and working on skills, they've like lost skills. Like for even speech and language, you can develop an acquired speech and language difficulty, an expressive difficulty because you're not having the give, take, back, forth of social communication. So you lack the ability to be overly initiative, elaborative, and expressive. And I keep saying that because that's what you need to work on as you find your voice. It's not just verbal, but for some, not all, they do need to work on those other skills, like the post SM, right? And so you have the ones that are over it, thriving, doing amazing. It's a thing of the past. They are dealing with other challenges in life and blah, 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 blah. But then you've got the others that these residual whys are hanging around and they're there, right? You can't, cure some things. If someone's on the autism spectrum, you can't cure autism. You can help them become a more functioning being or learning challenges and ways to help them. So I think my goal for this was for our listeners to realize there isn't one size fits all and
Right.
life after SM can present in many, many different ways.
And we're going to be there no matter what to support our kiddos and
We will
follow
be
their
there.
passions.
Thank you so much for doing this. This was so much like meat and potato
I
episode.
love it. It was so good. I'm so glad our paths finally crossed in person and we got this opportunity to share our stories So again, as a parent going through this, it's so validating to hear other people's stories and to have that hope. And I'm glad that you and I have this platform to do so. There is so much to be thankful for with our kiddos, no matter where they are on their journey, and to just to remember that they are them, and we're going to support them and love them and find those opportunities of success. And it's a beautiful journey.
It is a beautiful journey, I look back on Sophie's life and, to see her, like, what is it? I wish I knew then what I know now. Like, if I knew then what I know now that she'd be where she was, I would never have had the passion to have tried to figure this out, to develop SCAT and to understand SM as a social communication anxiety. I did all that because no one understood my child and I was left trying to figure it out. And as a physician, that's what I did without realizing it back when. It was really, I need to understand her. I don't get her. No one understands her. She's being misdiagnosed. And so for our listeners out there, there's many of you who go to a therapist that it just doesn't feel right. Like they're telling you things that aren't making sense about your child. Go with your gut.
Hmm.
Kelly, as a mom, right? We know, we understand our child in terms of what feels right. We may not always know what to do. And that's where you go to experts to help you in whatever area that is in life. But when something doesn't feel right or feels right.
Like you said, it's not a one
And
size fits all. So find what
no,
works for you and your family and your child and your experience and your own individual journey, and the path will guide itself.
absolutely. And really pay attention and just love your kid because no one wants to be mute.
Right.
And acceptance is so important. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yes, thank you. It was a wonderful treat to talk with you today. And I hope we get to see each other soon.
We will. We will.